Welcome to my tea room, right? Here I have just a 20-gallon goldfish tank, and then here we have the desk that has all the tea stuff, okay? And then I also practice. I'm a cellist. I play the cello, right? So this is in the evening after work. I come in here and very peaceful, quiet, and you just enjoy tea. Welcome, YouTube family. Goldfish enthusiasts, welcome to my tea table. If any of you happen to be in Houston, reach out to me at Space City Goldfish on Instagram, and you are more than welcome to come over and look at some of the fish and drink tea with me.
Thank you, Jose. Hey, this is Lei from Goldfish Corner. It's such great pleasure today to visit Jose's Goldfish Aquarium. This is a way above and beyond my expectation for this visit. The fish room is gorgeous.
Thank you, thank you.
The depth of knowledge of goldfish is so amazing. And even those little very cozy tea room.
Welcome. Huh?
There are so many questions already behind my mind, right? Why, when, how? I kind of organized before I visit here. I got a few questions. I just want to start with a very simple question. I said, when did you start goldfish keeping?
So my goldfish journey started when I was very young. I would say 5 or 6 years old. I grew up in the Philippines on a farmland, and there we use fish in our agriculture to help with the rice and the farming, and we would also farm the fish, right? And that instilled my fascination for fish keeping, right? And my grandfather, he also used to experiment with some of the carp he had. He had koi and he had grass carp.
Grass carp, okay.
And he would sometimes let them breed and see what happens, right?
Crossbreeding,
right? And he had these in the rice paddies where there was no rice planted. He would use that to raise the fish there, and they would grow big. They would grow as sizes to this table because they have access to all the mud, the nutrients that you have in the wild that you don't have in a glass aquarium. So that sort of environment growing up influenced my love for fish keeping, not just goldfish, but fish keeping.
Yeah.
Huh? There you
So
go.
when did you actually officially keep goldfish?
So my first goldfish was they're just common the common goldfish.
Common goldfish.
Common goldfish in the red. My grandfather built me this medium-sized shallow wooden tub, the muhai. That's how I kept them. We just kept them we had a courtyard, right? A brick courtyard, and we just kept them in there in those tubs. Now, he told me, if they die, that's your fault. He will not help me whatsoever. So I had to hands-on experience. I needed to learn how to change the water, when to change the water and whatnot. So at a very young age, I started goldfish keeping.
Roughly like elementary students or middle school students?
Whatever elementary, that they're usually like at 5, 6 years old. Yes.
From a family side, you definitely have tradition fish keeping, but in terms of goldfish, you don't really have some resources from your family, right? You have to figure out by yourself. So you speak and read Chinese, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Was that because you learned from Philippines time, or you pick up later on? So why Chinese culture is so interesting to you?
Thank you. So with that, growing up in the Philippines, we had a lot of cultural influences from our neighbors: Vietnam, Malaysia, China, Japan, right? And within my region, my area, there was a heavy Chinese population, immigrants from the Canton area, and so I grew up with that already. So it started my fascination from there. But yet I was still Filipino, and then we immigrated to the United States, and then within the public school system here, they encourage you to take a foreign language: Spanish, German, Japanese, Chinese.
Yep.
Everybody chose Spanish. Everybody.
Yeah.
I decided, you know what? China is much closer to my culture and my people than, let's say, Spanish or French is, right? So I decided, why not learn Chinese? I took a Chinese class. It started my journey in Chinese culture. That's when I learned about that goldfish were made in China. It made me want to learn a lot more deeper into the culture of the Chinese rather than just learning the language, learning how to write, learning how to speak. It really made me appreciate more for what it is, the entirety of it, rather than just the surface aspect.
That's really interesting because you and I, we both appreciate Chinese culture, but we're kind of a little bit different, right? For me, I'm inside out because I grew up in China.
Yes.
I learned Chinese as my first language, but you're a little bit different. You're a little bit outside at the beginning, and then when you go immigrant to US, you get time to officially learn it. So I'm just curious, from goldfish angle, how do you see the culture side connection?
Within just Asians overall, right?
Yeah.
There's iconography of goldfish and their symbolism in our culture, not just the Chinese, but
Yeah.
all of us,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So that in itself is there. But when studying goldfish, right? Yes, there's the modern textbooks that we have with research and genetics and all the fancy science words now. But when you go back to ancient texts, to people who had no scientific process, but they had intuition, they had wisdom. When you go back into that, that is when you get a much more deeper understanding of the history, the culture, and the aspects of goldfish, not just as a pet, but what they are and what they represent culturally.
You can see it, you can feel it, you can put it on your hand.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And with that, I feel like when you learn from these ancient masters, right, you get such a deep insight. You start to really understand how goldfish work as a fish itself, right? So with my understanding of goldfish, it is a blend of modern physiology, anatomy, with the wisdom of the ancients. With that, so in order to have access to that wisdom, you must learn their language. You must learn the Chinese language and read because they are seldom ever translated. Some more of the modern ones, let's say the Republic era ones, maybe even some of the Qing Dynasty ones.
Yeah.
But once you go back to like Song Dynasty, Tang, that's
hard
exactly
to access
right?
to.
So when you learn the language and you finally can understand that wisdom, you are just elevated in your hobby. It's not even a hobby anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like
on a mission of cultural connection. What the things drive you to build up social media, right? Because you said you have a Space City goldfish. What's the initial purpose to get those Space City goldfish?
Social media is a powerful thing. Being online with a presence is powerful. You get to make connections. You get opportunities that you would never have if you were just a fish keeper in your home, right?
Yeah.
So when I created my social media account, at first I just wanted to share my beautiful fish.
Yeah,
right?
Very natural, very basic feelings. Yeah,
exactly. But when I started to become more of a name in the social media sphere, it opened a lot of doors for connection. You, for example,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
You make a lot of friends, and you become a member of this worldwide community that you can just share information, that you can share wisdom, you can share beautiful fishes, of course, right? And you just become it's almost like you surround yourself with like-minded friends. One interesting thing about that is there was a goldfish friend of mine. His name is Robert. He lives all the way in Massachusetts, halfway across the country. Right? He decided he had a holiday, a 2-week holiday, and for one of those weeks he came down all the way to Texas. And of course, I showed him around. I shared tea with him, and he eventually picked up the tea hobby as well. So I'm glad that was that. What we did is we took a road trip. We went to visit all the other goldfish keepers in Texas. We took that whole week. We went from Corpus Christi, San Antonio, Austin, Dallas, and we just met up. We all had tea with each other, and we talked about goldfish. Here, I showed them similar what I did with you, where I showed them my breeding area, my goldfish collection, and I gave them little bits of wisdom, right? And then we go to the next person, and then that adds on more and more and more, and it just becomes such a tight-knit group of like-minded people who like the same things, and you just feel so close. It's almost like they're family, goldfish family.
Which is very interesting. You start from goldfish, and then from goldfish, you see another side of the world. You see the whole thing's connected. You said reduce the stress of life, where you introduce the fish. So now, can you tell me some exciting things or exciting moment over the past many years of goldfish keeping? Can you share those exciting moments?
So there was two events. The first event was a goldfish show and competition, and it's actually here in Texas. It's in San Antonio. It's half koi, half. I've always wanted to be part of it, right? There's always when you see the flower horn competition, you see the stingray competition, but then, right, goldfish in America, that's a very rare thing. In Asia, yes, it happens, but here, very rare thing. I had to compete and join, right?
Oh, you actually participated on the show?
I did. I brought my two best goldfish. They passed away now, but
what is it?
they were
Rancho? That's a very deep black.
It was black skin all the way through. The goldfish competition where I participated in it, I didn't care if I won or not. I just wanted to be in it.
Meet
right?
friends. Yeah.
That was the first exciting thing. And the second exciting thing was what I mentioned earlier. A friend flew all the way down. He sacrificed half of his vacation just to spend some time with me and drink tea and enjoy goldfish.
This is a very interesting event because I see in the modern world when those social media and the internet is so strong, people take a different way. Scams. There's the junk mail, the spam, the phishing, right? Through goldfish, because there's mutual trust, you feel all the barriers, all the security layers are so easy to penetrate, build a common trust just because the other side of the person love goldfish, right? So did you check his background? Did you check
Robert?
Right?
Or anybody?
Yeah,
right?
you don't, right? So over the goldfish keeping, through the way he take care of goldfish, through the way your interaction, you immediately build up the mutual trust very quickly. So that's kind of which we're really missing in the common modern world.
As a person, you can really tell a lot about a person based on how well they take care of their animals, right?
Exactly. Responsible,
Responsibility,
right? Reliable, right?
Right? Discipline, responsibility,
perseverance,
right? All of those qualities those are attractive qualities within a person that I want to associate myself with.
Just like a pendulum, right? Now you share those good moments, those memorable moment in goldfish keeping, exciting moment. What are those tough moments? I know goldfish is not easy hobby.
Oh, definitely.
You must get goldfish died accidentally, right? How do you overcome that challenging? And do you ever thought about give up on goldfish keeping?
So definitely. First thing I always this is some advice I always tell anybody who keeps goldfish. You will kill a fish. That's if no. I mean, you're not perfect, right? You will kill a fish, especially in your beginner stages where you're very uneducated. So when you kill a fish, yes, it's a tragedy, but learn from the death. Take every death as a lesson. It happens. Every one of us comes across dead fish. We all kill our fish one way or another. Being able to recover from that emotional attachment, right? Being able to recover from that takes time. I don't want to say you get desensitized, but you get desensitized. My biggest failures were, do you remember a couple years ago, the first snowstorm came by and knocked down all of Houston's power? I had goldfish outside with that, and they all froze. I did not have
no power,
and I didn't have any backup power. Exactly. So, and I had a lot of fish, a lot of expensive online fish, and then they all passed away, and I just thought, I just lost so much here. I don't know if I can recover. Obviously, I did recover, right? But you just have to keep going on.
2021.
Yes, big snow, out of nowhere. I was not prepared. No one was prepared for it.
Yes.
So with that, just keep going, right? Take a break if you need to. Again, remember, people never really quit the hobby. They just take breaks. Right? They always come back. Same thing with me. I took some time off, worked. I just kept my head down and worked. Lost myself in my job. That allowed me to build up the funds again to restart the hobby. Now, I took all those deaths as a lesson. I had backup generator, I had heater, right? I have all these ways to maintain that if my water freezes.
You do have a backup battery. Wow!
You did learn. I am not going to.
Especially right now, it's hurricane season.
Okay. Yes, exactly. Right. So with that, I learned from the death. Now the second time I almost gave up on goldfish keeping was when I lost my prize fish. There was two of them. There was the black one and then there was the red one. Very big, very prized. They were my.
That's your best fish.
Yeah, and then so when I lost those two prize fish, I want to say I almost fell out of love with goldfish. Yeah. I still had goldfish because I was so heartbroken. But of course, over time, right, you heal, and then eventually, yes, my prize fish are dead, but these fishes, they are also beautiful in their own way. You begin to appreciate not just the super expensive, high quality Louis Vuitton goldfish. I like to think of them as the designer goldfish. You learn to appreciate something even simple as that. The tails, the good body shape. So within there, from their deaths, I learned to appreciate all aspects of goldfish, even if it's like
Oh,
the
interesting. So
mm,
you from the goldfish death, you get another perspective or angle
mm,
to look at a goldfish, and now
hmm
you see the whole picture of
yes.
goldfish
So I
keeping.
was
Yeah,
much like a lot of the
interesting. Yeah,
beginners,
yeah, yeah,
where
yeah.
they want to get the big, chunky, big, beautiful
Show
Thailand
quality.
goldfish,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
The ones that are the size of a dinner plate.
yeah.
I was like that. And it's okay. It's okay. We all started there.
Yeah.
But then, after going through all these stages, all the growth in the goldfish hobby, I really began to appreciate more of the different types of goldfish. And then that introduced me to like the more classic types, the Chinese goldfish types, the Japanese goldfish type, even the Thai goldfish type. I feel like every
Every country.
culture,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
right? Though goldfish are, but every culture who has adopted goldfish culture,
Yep.
they turn that into their own thing.
Oh, exactly. Yeah,
Mhm.
because goldfish are adaptive. I mean, the way you breeding them, the way you select them, it definitely push your own timestamps into the goldfish keeping. I definitely agree. Now, the perfect segue, right? We talk about culture, we talk about death, right? That's the other very philosophical question about, hey, is a goldfish a piece of artwork or a piece of life, right? Or could it be both?
Both.
That's where the goldfish become tricky. Let me ask you this question. There are many interesting goldfish movement, especially in Europe countries, right?
Yes.
About goldfish ethics,
Yes.
right? For instance, they're gonna ban telescope goldfish because those extreme body attribute, or the bubble eye goldfish, which is extremely unhealthy to goldfish. But on the other hand, these are a specific attribute of goldfish type from so many years.
Exactly. They're
People,
pedigree.
yeah,
They have
people
history.
exactly. So the people struggles, especially confuse the beginners. Can you share about your perspective on goldfish ethics?
I understand both aspects to it, where they are concerned where these body modifications can be detrimental to the quality of life of goldfish. But one thing I want people to understand is these goldfish, the bubble eye, the telescope, they were not bred to just have like immediate bubble eye, right? It's a successive thing. It's smaller and grows bigger and bigger, and we breed for those, right? So what I think is they feel like these features, they must be like in agonizing pain or something, right? But they don't understand. These features were developed hundreds of years before.
Oh, interesting point. Okay,
right?
okay, I
So
see what you
they
mean.
have
Yeah.
become.
It's not like a switch on off
Oh,
button. Boom, they got
exactly,
so
right?
big. Okay.
Right? So they're not like this breed is accustomed to this feature that they've been bred into. And then also with that, because these are such old breeds, we have used them in the progression of modern goldfish. A lot of these older breed types we still go back to when we're breeding. One lesson that Mr. Gary Hayter, right, the Goldfish Council man,
Yeah.
he said that their genetics we always harken back to with dorsal-less fish because they have such neutral set of genetics. So if we lose that, then whatever ranchus or whatever dorsal fish we use in the future or breed in the future might become a lot more compromised now compromised with the lack of the neutral set of genetics from let's say the bubble eye. So we would eventually begin breeding goldfish into agony, right? So we don't want that. So there's the genetic aspect of it, there's a historical aspect of it, and then there's a physiological aspect of it. All of those, right? They contribute to that fish itself, and over time, again, these are not switches. They don't just randomly breed two comets and you have a telescope butterfly that's in agonizing pain. These features have been developed over time. And they get accustomed to that. So they're as natural as they come in terms of those features. Huh? Now I have seen a lot of the tropical breeders where they're starting to do these methods, the bubble eye, the wen on different species. There's the Molly live bear fish that they're doing it.
Yeah.
And from there, I can see why a lot of the newer people in the community they're like, oh, please stop doing that. I understand it, right? But I feel like we could find a middle ground where we are still able to have these breeds, but also satisfy that these are, they don't look so ill-bred. I want to say that's ill-bred, right? If we take a look at the bubble eyes of, let's say, the Japanese variety, their bubble eye sac is not the big flowy fluid sac. If anything, it's almost just like a little bump, a rosy cheek, right? So if we breed more into that, if we sort of move the market or the aesthetic preferences to something a little more tame, then it will satisfy the concerns of the younger or the newer people, and also be able to maintain that breed as well, right?
Internet played a very important role.
Yeah.
With the internet, you don't feel lonely. We know each other. You have a good friend, Robert, flew from Massachusetts to here.
Yes,
It's
yes.
connected. What is your hope? What are the messages you want to give to them?
But within these online goldfish communities, right? People who come for help, they come in their lowest time at that hobby. They need help. Yet you often see in the comments people being rude or
Yeah.
mean, and I just think it's not productive. This person wants to learn and become better at this hobby. You are calling them names, and it's not productive. They're not going to learn. If anything, you're just going to drive them out of the hobby. So I'd say this: come, approach everybody with respect and kindness. Be a little more understanding. Not everybody has the space that I do,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Not everybody has the budget I do. I don't have the space or budget like Bo Jao does. Goodness, I want a farm like that, but I don't have the resources for that. And everybody is in their different levels of life. What we want to always aspire to is keeping the fish in the best quality that we can, right? So if you have just a 20 gallon like that, adjust your husbandry schedule so the quality of life of the fish. There's no one correct way to keep goldfish. My style of keeping goldfish, your style, they're all different.
So that's actually interesting point. Should I reflect on your point is through raising a goldfish, you find yourself. You find a new you, right? You have different level, different breed, different budget. What's the one fit on you? You have to understand yourself. Speaking with the online community, sometimes it's intentional, unintentional. Have you got a bad experience ever? And how do you overcome that?
That's a great question. Whenever I reach conflict, I always want to move around or move away from it. So let's say in my social medias, somebody says something insulting about, your fish have cancer. It's the wind, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, I won't even, I'll like it. Like, thank you for interacting with my content.
Yeah.
But I mean, they're not educated.
Yeah.
They don't know.
You don't want to waste your time.
So I don't come at them with like hatred or anger because I know that they just don't know. But if it's from another goldfish keeper and they're saying something, then we can, rather than being argumentative, we can compare notes, right? In my style, I was able to successfully do this. Yet whenever you did it, not so much, right? Compare notes, learn from each other. Any hostility, all that comes from, I wouldn't say a lot of pride. For what?
Yeah,
it's fish.
That's right. I think that's all my questions. Thank you so much, Jose. I really appreciate your time and the goldfish and the tea and everything. A lot of this Q&A, all the questions actually beyond the 30 minutes conversation. But I would think I was using this conversation as a starting point. If so you're interested on our conversation, you can always comment below to share your own point, or go to Space City Goldfish, go to Jose's website and social media to make a connection with his social media on Instagram, Twitter. You also on the YouTube, right? It's more Instagram.
It's more Instagram.
All right. If you're from Houston, Texas area, you can always connect us. Maybe we can have another local visit to your fish room or to Jose on my fish room. That would be great. All right, guys. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe our channels, and I'll see you next time. Bye. Thank you, Jose.
Thank you.